Ma'am, I need to see your membership card.
I don't have it with me.
Then you can't be in here. This area is for members.
I'm allowed to be here.
Okay, and who exactly are you here with?
I handle this place.
Officer Derek Bennett had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 8 minutes, his badge would be gone, his career would be over, and he would owe $2.8 million. The woman he was threatening, she wasn't an employee, she was Diana Whitmore. She owned the entire country club. The property was worth $47 million. Diana had bought the golf course 3 years ago. Before that, she spent 15 years in real estate. She closed deals in 7 countries. She managed properties worth billions, and she had never been asked to prove she belonged in her own office, until today. The country club's security cameras were recording everything. Diana had approved those cameras herself last month. They cost $300,000, and they caught every single second. Before I continue, let me ask you this. Have you ever been treated like you didn't belong somewhere, even though you had every right to be there? Drop your answer in the comments. But Officer Bennett had no idea who he was threatening. Diana Whitmore was 42 years old. She owned Pinehurst Country Club. She paid $47 million for it in August 2020. The club had an 18-hole championship golf course. It sat on 250 acres. It was one of the most expensive clubs in the state. Diana wasn't new to business. She spent 15 years in commercial real estate. She had an MBA from Wharton School of Business. That's one of the top business schools in America. She closed deals worth $2.3 billion. She worked in 7 different countries. She managed properties on 3 continents. Before she owned the club, Diana was a vice president at Marcus and Wellington Real Estate Group. That's a major company. She was the first black woman to own a country club in the tri-state area. Diana knew property law inside and out. She knew civil rights law. She knew discrimination law. In 2018, she testified before Congress about housing discrimination. She sat on the board of the National Association of Real Estate Professionals. Diana grew up 12 miles from Pinehurst. Her family didn't have much money. Her father worked as a groundskeeper at a different country club for 30 years. He was never allowed to play golf there, not once. Diana bought Pinehurst to change that. She wanted to create opportunities for people who looked like her. On this Tuesday in June 2023, Diana was just checking an irrigation system. She wore jeans and a polo shirt. No jewelry, nothing fancy, just doing her job. That's when Officer Bennett decided she was trespassing. Officer Derek Bennett was 28 years old. He had been a cop for exactly 11 months, and he already had a file. Bennett graduated from the police academy in March 2022. He was assigned to Pinehurst Township. That's a wealthy area. Most people there are white. Before becoming a cop, Bennett worked as a security guard at shopping malls. He had no college degree. He had very little training on racial bias. In his 11 months as a cop, Bennett had 4 complaints against him. 3 of those complaints involved black residents. All 4 complaints accused him of overreach and racial profiling. Here's what happened before Diana. In September 2022, Bennett stopped a black teenager outside a grocery store. The teen was just waiting for his mom. Bennett said he looked suspicious. The family filed a complaint. Bennett got a written warning. In December 2022, Bennett pulled over a black doctor driving a Mercedes. Bennett claimed the car matched a stolen vehicle report. There was no stolen vehicle report. The doctor filed a complaint. Bennett had to take bias training. In March 2023, Bennett went to Pinehurst Country Club for a noise complaint. He questioned a black wedding guest. He demanded ID. He accused the guest of crashing the wedding. The guest was the groom's brother. He was also a federal judge. The complaint went all the way to the township supervisor. Other cops noticed Bennett's behavior. They called him rookie with a complex. 2 veteran officers told supervisors they were worried about his aggressive approach to people of color. His supervisor noted a pattern of poor judgment in March, but they let him keep working. Type pattern in the comments if you see where this is going. Bennett had been given warnings, he had been retrained, he had been given second chances. But on June 13, 2023, his pattern was about to hit someone who had the money, the knowledge, and the power to make sure it was his last. It was Tuesday, June 13, 2023. The time was 2:47 in the afternoon. Pinehurst Country Club sits at 1247 Fairway Drive. The property covers 250 acres. It has an 18-hole championship golf course. The clubhouse was built in 1928. Diana renovated it recently. The area is wealthy. The average home costs $1.2 million. The club has 600 members. Before Diana bought it, 94% of members were white. It was hot that day. The temperature hit 86 degrees. Sprinklers were running across the back 9 holes. The groundskeeping crew was working near the 14th hole. About 40 members were on the property. Lunch service was ending in the clubhouse. Diana was near the 15th fairway with Jose Ramirez. Jose was the maintenance supervisor. He had worked there for 8 years. They were checking irrigation valves. Diana was taking notes on a tablet. Inside the clubhouse, Patricia Hollies was working. She was the club manager. 2 bartenders, 3 servers, and 1 chef were also working. About 12 members were playing golf on different parts of the course. At 2:52, Officer Bennett arrived in his patrol car. He drove up the service road. He parked near the maintenance shed. He was wearing his full uniform. His body camera was on, but he didn't tell anyone. A security guard named Kyle Morrison had called the police. Kyle was 19 years old. It was his first week on the job. He reported an unidentified woman on the course without proper clothing. He said she was black and wearing casual clothes. Bennett got out of his car. He walked straight toward Diana. His hands stayed near his belt. Diana and Jose were crouched by an irrigation control box. Diana was typing notes. Bennett walked up. "Excuse me, ma'am, I need to speak with you." Diana looked up. She seemed confused. "Hi, officer, is everything okay? If stories like this matter to you, hit that subscribe button right now. I got a call about someone on the property without permission. I need to see your membership card." Diana stood up. She brushed dirt off her jeans. "Oh, I don't carry it when I'm working. I'm checking on some maintenance issues." Jose started to speak. "Officer, this is..." Bennett cut him off. "Sir, I'm not speaking to you. Ma'am, if you don't have a membership card, I need you to come with me." Diana realized what was happening. This wasn't a simple mistake. This was profiling. "Officer, I think there's been some confusion. I own this property. I'm Diana Whitmore." Bennett looked skeptical. And I'm sure you have some ID that proves that." "My driver's license is in my office in the clubhouse. I can walk you there." "No, you're going to stay right here. You don't get to wander around the property until I verify who you are." Jose was frustrated now. "Officer, I'm the maintenance supervisor. I've worked here for 8 years. This is Ms. Whitmore. She's the owner. She bought this club 3 years ago." Bennett's voice got harder. "Sir, I told you I'm not talking to you. Step back." Diana stayed calm. "Jose, it's okay. Officer, would you like to call the club manager? Her name is Patricia Hollies. She can confirm who I am. What I'd like is for you to stop telling me how to do my job and start cooperating." Diana's voice got firmer. "I am cooperating. I've told you who I am. I've offered to show you my ID. What exactly are you asking me to do?" "I'm asking you to come with me to my patrol car so we can sort this out away from the members." "Why would I need to do that? I haven't done anything wrong. I'm on my own property." Bennett's voice got louder. "You're on private property without proper ID, and you're refusing to follow a lawful order." "This isn't a lawful order. You have no legal reason to detain me. I've identified myself. I've explained the situation. I've offered proof." Bennett stepped closer. "Ma'am, you need to watch your tone. I don't know who you think you are, but I can remove you from this property if you're trespassing." Diana didn't back down. I'm the person who signs the checks that pay for the security that called you, and I'm asking you politely. Either verify my identity through the proper steps or leave me alone so I can finish my work. That's it, turn around, you're coming with me. Excuse me. Bennett reached for her arm, turn around now. Diana pulled back, do not touch me, you have no right to do that. Bennett got louder, you're getting in the way of a police investigation. If you don't do what I say, I will arrest you for obstruction. Jose stepped forward. Officer, this is wrong, you can't arrest her, she hasn't done anything. Marcus, another groundskeeper, arrived on a golf cart. Whoa, what's going on? Ms. Whitmore, you okay? David, a third groundskeeper, pulled out his phone. I'm recording this. This doesn't make sense. Bennett's hand moved toward his handcuffs. Diana crossed her arms. She stood her ground. Jose moved between Diana and Bennett. Marcus grabbed his radio. Patricia, we need you at the 15th Fairway right now. Police are trying to arrest Ms. Whitmore. Bennett pointed at Marcus. Put that rad. IO down, all of you, back up, or you'll be charged with interfering. Let me know in the comments what you would have done in this situation. What Officer Bennett didn't know was that 3 phones were recording now. The club's $300,000 security system had 4 cameras pointed at the fairway, and Patricia Hollies was already on the phone, not with a lawyer, with the chief of police, because this wasn't the first time Derek Bennett had profiled someone at Pinehurst Country Club. Patricia Hollies arrived in a golf cart at 3:02. That was exactly 10 minutes after Bennett arrived. She was holding a tablet and her phone. Officer Bennett, step away from Ms. Whitmore right now. Patricia wasn't asking, she was telling him. This is Diana Whitmore. She is the owner of Pinehurst Country Club. She bought this property in August 2020 for $47 million. I am the club manager. I have her ID, the deed to this property, and our membership records right here. Bennett looked uncertain now. Then why didn't she just say that? Diana's voice was steady. I did, multiple times. You chose not to believe me. Patricia held up her phone. I also have Chief Daniels on the line. He'd like to speak with you. Bennett's face changed. First he looked confused, then he understood, then he looked scared. Jose spoke up. I told him who she was the second he got here. He wouldn't listen. He told me to step back and stop interfering. Marcus added, he tried to grab her, she didn't fight back. She didn't yell, she just asked him to check who she was, and he threatened to arrest her. David held up his phone. I got the whole thing on video, from the moment he told her to turn around. The evidence was everywhere. David's phone had 8 minutes and 14 seconds of video. Marcus's phone had 4 minutes and 32 seconds. He started recording later. Jose wore a body camera for maintenance insurance. It caught 11 minutes of full audio and video. The country club security cameras had 4 angles, all were 1080p quality, all were time-stamped, and Bennett's own body camera was on the entire time. Later, it would prove everything the witnesses said. Patricia handed her phone to Bennett. Chief Robert Daniels was on speaker. Everyone could hear him. Bennett, what the heck is going on? Bennett's voice shook. Chief, I responded to a call from security about someone without permission on the property. You responded to a call about Ms. Whitmore, the owner of the club, the woman I had lunch with last month at the township fundraiser. I didn't know, no one told me. Get back to the station. Now, do not say another word to Ms. Whitmore, do not write a report, come straight to my office. Bennett looked at Diana, then at the phones recording him, then at Patricia. Ms. Whitmore, I'm sorry, this was a misunderstanding. I was just trying to do my job. Diana's voice was ice cold. You were just doing your job? No, you were profiling me. You saw a black woman on a country club fairway and decided I didn't belong. You ignored what I said. You dismissed my colleague. You threatened to arrest me for standing on property I own. That's not a misunderstanding. That's racism. Bennett tried again. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to. Save it. You're on 4 cameras and 3 cell phones. Your body camera caught everything, and I don't want to hear your excuses. Bennett walked back to his patrol car. He didn't say anything else. His shoulders were down. He looked defeated. Now here's what happened next. By this point, Officer Bennett was starting to understand how badly he messed up, but he had no idea how far this was about to go, because Diana Whitmore wasn't just a property owner. She was a woman who spent 15 years in rooms where people assumed she didn't belong, and she was done accepting that treatment. Type justice in the comments if you think Diana did the right thing. Chief Robert Daniels arrived at the country club at 3:47. That was 45 minutes after the incident started. He brought Lieutenant Sarah Chen with him. She was the head of internal affairs. They met with Diana, Patricia, and the 3 groundskeeper witnesses in the club's conference room. Chen reviewed all the footage. She watched Bennett's body cam. She watched the club security cameras. She watched the witness phone recordings. She interviewed Jose, Marcus, and David separately. All their stories matched. Chen checked Bennett's dispatch log. Security guard Kyle Morrison had called in a suspicious person. He described Diana as a black woman in casual clothes walking the course. Chen pulled Bennett's personnel file. He had 4 prior complaints. 3 involved racial profiling. She reviewed township policy. It said officers must try all reasonable ways to verify someone's identity before detaining them on private property. Bennett's story fell apart fast. Bennett claimed Diana refused to identify herself, but his body cam showed Diana clearly stating her name and her role in the first 30 seconds. She offered to get her ID from her office. Bennett claimed Diana was being difficult and uncooperative, but all the footage showed Diana speaking calmly. She never raised her voice. She never moved in a threatening way. Bennett was the one who got louder. He stepped closer. He reached for her arm. He threatened to arrest her. Bennett claimed he had no way to verify her identity at the scene, but Jose Ramirez vouched for her right away. Jose had worked there for 8 years. Patricia Hollies arrived within 10 minutes with documents. Bennett refused both ways to verify who Diana was. Chief Daniels spoke to Diana. Ms. Whitmore, on behalf of the Township Police Department, I apologize. This was completely wrong. Officer Bennett will be placed on leave immediately while we investigate. Lieutenant Chen added, we're also recommending he be fired. This is his 4th complaint in 11 months. Combined with the body cam footage, we have grounds to fire him. Diana's voice was firm. I appreciate that, but I'm not interested in an internal punishment that goes nowhere. I'm talking to my lawyers. This is a pattern, and your department let it continue. Bennett was called back to Chief Daniels' office at 4:15. He tried to defend himself. This is being blown out of proportion. I was responding to a real call. Chen showed him the footage. She put it side by side with his incident report. Bennett had written his report during his drive back to the station. His report said Diana refused to cooperate. It said she became verbally aggressive. Both claims were lies. The video proved it. Chen's voice was hard. You lied in an official report. You're suspended without pay starting now. You'll be told when your disciplinary hearing is. Bennett sounded desperate. I have a family. I made a mistake. Chief Daniels cut him off. You made 4 mistakes. This is the last one. Diana was shaken but calm. She went back to her office. She told her staff she was okay, but didn't say much more. Jose, Marcus, and David were given the rest of the day off. They were told they might be called as witnesses later. Patricia Hollies sent an email to all club members. She explained what happened. She said Diana was safe. She said the officer had been removed. Club security guard Kyle Morrison, who made the first call, was fired that evening. Patricia said he broke club policy by calling police before talking to management. If you believe stories like this need to be shared, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what happens next. But the consequences were just starting, because Marcus, the groundskeeper, had posted his video to Twitter at 3:15, and by the time Chief Daniels left the country club, it had 47,000 views. Marcus uploaded his 4-minute video to Twitter at 3:15. That was 15 minutes after the incident. His caption said, "Cop tries to arrest the owner of a country club for trespassing on her own property. This is what profiling looks like." By 4 o'clock, the video had 47,000 views. It had 2,100 retweets. It was trending locally. By 5:30, David uploaded his longer video. It was 8 minutes long. He posted it on TikTok and Instagram. Combined views across all platforms hit 340,000. By 6 o'clock, the local NBC station picked up the story. They called Patricia Hollies for an interview. By 8:45, Jose's body cam footage leaked. No one knows who leaked it, but people think it came from someone in the club's security office. It was uploaded to YouTube. This version had the clearest audio. You could hear Bennett dismissing Diana and Jose perfectly. By midnight, the numbers were huge. Twitter had 1.2 million views and 89,000 retweets. TikTok had 2.7 million views. Instagram had 890,000 views. YouTube had 1.4 million views. Total views across all platforms hit 6.2 million. The hashtags were trending: Pinehurst Country Club, Diana Whitmore, DWB, which stands for Driving While Black. People adapted it to Existing While Black. On Reddit, a thread on the public freakout page got 34,000 upvotes and 4,800 comments in 6 hours. On Facebook, the video was shared 78,000 times. People were angry. One comment from a civil rights lawyer said, "This is textbook racial profiling." She identified herself, offered proof, and was still threatened with arrest. Officer Bennett belongs in a courtroom, not on patrol. A real estate news account said, Diana Whitmore closed a $47 million deal and runs a country club. Officer Bennett couldn't be bothered to verify her identity for 10 minutes. The disrespect is unbelievable. A black woman in business account said, Every black professional knows this feeling. You can have all the degrees, all the money, all the success, and still be treated like you don't belong. It's exhausting. A member of the country club commented on the local Facebook group. The comment got 2,300 likes. It said, "I'm a member at Pinehurst. Diana is one of the most professional, kind owners I've ever met. Bennett had no reason to treat her like that. Fire him." Local news channels covered the story on the evening news. By the next morning, national outlets picked it up. CNN and MSNBC mentioned it in morning segments. The Washington Post ran an online story. The headline was, "Black Country Club Owner Threatened with Arrest by Police on Her Own Property." Trade publications covered it too. Commercial Real Estate Weekly, Golf Digest, and Hospitality Management Today all wrote about it. The township released a statement at 7:30 that night. It said, "We are aware of the incident involving Officer Bennett and are investigating. The officer has been placed on leave." People criticized the statement as too weak. Commenters demanded he be fired and that civil rights investigators get involved. Bennett's wife posted on Facebook, then deleted it. She said, "My husband is a good man who made a mistake. The media is destroying him." The post was screenshot and shared 12,000 times. Replies said things like, "Your husband's mistake has been documented 4 times. That's a pattern." Bennett deleted all his social media accounts by 9 o'clock that night. He never made a public statement. Comment below what you think should have happened to Officer Bennett. 3 days later, on June 16th, Officer Derek Bennett was officially fired from the Pinehurst Township Police Department. But for Diana Whitmore, that wasn't justice. That was just the beginning. On July 18th, 2023, Diana Whitmore filed a federal lawsuit. That was 5 weeks after the incident. She was represented by civil rights attorney Marcus Webb. His firm was Webb and Associates. They filed in U.S. District Court. The lawsuit named 4 defendants: Officer Derek Bennett in his individual capacity, Pinehurst Township Police Department, Chief Robert Daniels for supervisory liability, and the Township of Pinehurst. The claims were serious: violation of the Fourth Amendment for unlawful detention and attempted arrest without probable cause, violation of the 14th Amendment for racial discrimination and denial of equal protection, civil rights violation under federal law Section 1983, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and negligent hiring, training, and supervision against the township and department. Diana asked for $5 million in compensatory damages. She also asked for punitive damages, but didn't name a specific amount. During discovery, Webb and Associates requested Bennett's complete personnel file. It revealed the 4 prior complaints, but it also showed 2 more informal complaints that were never officially documented. A pattern became clear. All 6 incidents involved black residents. 5 out of 6 happened in wealthy areas. The evidence was overwhelming. 4 video recordings from June 13th. Bennett's body cam, security cameras, witness phones, 37 pages of internal affairs reports on Bennett, testimony from 8 witnesses. Jose, Marcus, David, Patricia, 3 country club members who saw parts of the incident, and Chief Daniels. Text messages between Bennett and Kyle Morrison came to light. Kyle was the security guard. After the incident, Bennett texted him. He wrote, "This is going to blow over. She's not going to sue." He was wrong. An expert witness testified. Dr. Hyana Mitchell was a professor of criminology. She said Bennett's actions fit a pattern called escalation through disbelief. It's common in racial profiling cases. Wait until you hear the settlement amount. In March 2024, 9 months after filing, the case settled out of court. Diana was awarded $2.8 million total. $1.5 million came from the township and police department. Municipal insurance covered most of that. $800,000 came from Officer Bennett personally. He had to set up a payment plan over 15 years. He was required to sell his assets, including his home. $500,000 in attorney fees and court costs were paid by the township. The total payout from the township and defendants was $3.3 million. But the money wasn't the only consequence. Bennett was banned from Pinehurst Country Club for life. That was mostly symbolic, but it was included in the settlement. He was banned from working at any law enforcement agency in the state. That was a condition of the settlement and of avoiding criminal charges. He had to complete 200 hours of community service with organizations that serve communities of color. Bennett's law enforcement certification was taken away by the State Police Standards Board. The township agreed to make changes: mandatory racial bias training for all officers, 40 hours every year. The township also created a civilian board to oversee police complaints. Diana chose not to pursue criminal charges against Bennett. She focused on the civil case. A restraining order was put in place. Bennett had to stay 500 feet away from Diana and Pinehurst Country Club. The settlement included a clause that said Bennett couldn't publicly criticize Diana or the lawsuit. Bennett issued a brief written apology through his lawyer. It was required by the settlement. He said, "I regret the incident on June 13, 2023. I should have handled the situation differently. I apologize to Ms. Whitmore." People saw the apology as empty. He didn't admit to racial profiling. He didn't take real responsibility. He just said he should have handled it differently. Bennett moved out of state. By December 2024, he was reportedly living in Florida. He works in private security at a warehouse now. Diana released a statement after the settlement. "This was never about the money. It was about accountability. Officer Bennett's actions were part of a pattern the police department ignored until it was caught on camera and went viral. I hope this settlement sends a message. Racial profiling has consequences, real consequences." In April 2024, Diana held a press conference at Pinehurst Country Club. She stood at a podium in the main hall. About 40 people were there: journalists, club members, and community leaders. Jose, Marcus, David, and Patricia stood behind her. Diana spoke about the personal impact. "For weeks after June 13th, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the moment Officer Bennett reached for my arm, the look in his eyes that said he didn't believe a word I said. I kept thinking, what if I hadn't owned this property? What if I'd been a guest, an employee? What if no one had been recording?" She continued, "I've spent 15 years in rooms where I was underestimated, where people assumed I was the assistant, not the boss. But I had resources, I had lawyers, I had a platform. Most people who go through what I went through don't have those things. They get arrested. They get criminal records. They lose their jobs. And no one believes them because there's no video, no witnesses, no media attention. Diana had a message for workers. If you work in retail, hospitality, any service job, you do not deserve to be abused. You do not deserve to be profiled. You have rights, and those rights don't disappear just because someone with a badge or authority decides you don't belong. She also had a message for the public, and if you've never been through this, I need you to understand something. Respect is not optional, it's the baseline. And when you see someone being profiled, being harassed, being treated like they're less than human, speak up, record it, be a witness, because silence lets this continue. Diana explained what she wants. I want policy changes. I want accountability. I want officers like Derek Bennett to face real consequences, not just paid leave and a quiet transfer. And I want a culture where Black people, especially Black women, don't have to prove they belong every single day. She thanked the people who stood with her. I'm grateful to Jose, Marcus, and David for standing with me that day. I'm grateful to Patricia for acting quickly. I'm grateful to everyone who shared the video, who demanded justice, who refused to let this be ignored. Diana's closing words were powerful. This case was about more than one officer and one country club. It was about dignity. It was about being seen as human, and I will keep fighting for that. For myself, for my staff, and for every person who's been told they don't belong in a space they earn the right to be in. But this case showed something bigger, something that goes far beyond Derek Bennett and Pinehurst Township. This isn't just one bad cop, it's a pattern. A study from 2022 found that retail and service workers report harassment at rates 3 times higher than other jobs. A survey from 2023 found that 67% of Black retail workers said they were profiled or harassed by customers or police while working. In 2022 alone, over 2,400 cases of racial profiling were documented in stores, clubs, and restaurants, but only 11% of profiling incidents result in formal complaints. Only 3% result in legal action. Diana's case was different because she had money for lawyers. The incident was recorded from multiple angles. The media attention forced accountability. Without that viral video, this likely would have been dismissed. The root causes are still there. Cultural bias that assumes Black people in wealthy spaces are out of place. Police training that focuses on suspicious behavior without addressing bias. Legal protections like qualified immunity that shield officers from consequences. And most victims don't have the resources to fight back. So let me ask you, do we really believe a $2.8 million settlement is going to change how Black people are treated in wealthy spaces? Or is it just the cost of doing business for police departments that know they won't face real consequences? Do we really believe Officer Derek Bennett was just one bad apple? Or are we willing to admit the system protected him through 4 complaints, 2 warnings, and multiple incidents before a viral video forced action? Do we really believe this case was about one country club and one officer? Or are we ready to face the fact that Diana Whitmore is one of the lucky ones? Most people who get profiled don't own the property, they don't have the resources, and they don't get the cameras rolling in time. Because if we don't fix the root problem, if we don't demand real accountability, then we're just waiting for the next Derek Bennett, the next Diana Whitmore, the next viral video that makes us angry for 2 days before we move on. Comment below, do you think Officer Bennett's consequences went far enough, or should he have faced criminal charges? I want to hear from you. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're not done. We're going to keep exposing these patterns. We're going to keep demanding accountability. We're going to keep fighting for a world where people like Diana Whitmore don't have to prove they belong in spaces they own, spaces they earned, spaces they have every right to be in. This isn't just about Derek Bennett or Diana Whitmore. It's about all of us and the system we are willing to tolerate. Thanks for watching Retail Justice Files. See you in the next one.